Thanks so much, Liz. Great introduction. We will be waiting for Facundo to join. But let me start reflecting first on why we're here. We all feed ourselves. We all eat every day. That's one of the things that we do normally. And according to FAO, the calories that are available for people in average are about 2,700 approximately calories in average. In the developed world, about 3.3 thousand. Facu, great, fantastic, right on time, great. Big applause to Facundo, had just arrived from the airport. Thanks for joining on time. He had a trouble with his flight. So I was saying, in average, 3.7 thousand calories per person, 3.3 when it comes to the developed world, 2.0, 2.1 when it comes to the developing world. In a world where 2.44 people are being added to this world every second, we're not only confronting the situation of requiring more food, we require better food. We require better productivity, better food in general, but also one that is produced in balance with an environment that is absolutely challenged. In this moment, according to the Secretary General of the United Nations, we're confronting a hurricane of hunger due to, of course, the scarcity of grains and fertilizers and the invasion of Ukraine. That's somehow the conditional situation that sets the panel for today, in which, as Liz mentioned, we have distinguished panelists already been announced by her. We have, of course, Beatriz Jacoste from Kilometer Zero. We have Marc Coloma from Heura, and Facundo Garreton, a social serial entrepreneur from Latin America. So I would like first each of you to introduce yourself, and while doing that, please let us know why did you start up your companies or initiatives, and what is the opportunity that you have identified in the market? I will start with you, Beatriz, please.
Perfect. Thank you. Good morning. So KM0 was started about 5 years ago, and in the beginning, it didn't intend to become what it has. So our mission in the beginning was supporting food tech startups, and it's still in our mission, but it has evolved. And it all came from an industry need. So there was a big industrial group that was concerned of how they were going to adapt to the changes in the market, and they needed a group of people, a strange and separate group of individuals, only dedicated to anticipate those changes in the market, so as market intelligence, and then managing their investments in food tech startups. So soon, when we started talking to these food tech startups, we did not only become aware that it was an interesting investment opportunity, but it was really solving one of the global issues. So we became what we are today, which is an innovation and venturing ecosystem that is bringing together the people that are leading the food innovation for a positive impact in the world in terms of planet and people.
Brilliant. Thanks so much, Beatriz. I will move now to you, Marc. The same thing. Why did you start Heura, and what is the opportunity that you're identifying in the market?
So Heura started also five years ago, but everything came because of the motivations and my past. No? Even when I was a teenager, I started in activism, social activism, environmental activism, and animal rights activism. And it got a point in my life, no, that I realized that in order to accelerate certain changes, it wasn't enough just with consciousness, but we needed better offer into the market. No? I think that technology has an amazing power in order to empower people to align beliefs and behaviors. And when we are looking at challenges in the food industry, there are a lot of things that we don't know because of the magnitude of it all. No? 35% of greenhouse emissions are coming from the food industry, and just animal farming, it's creating more emissions than the whole transportation industry worldwide, no? And it's going to get worse because we love to eat animal products and we are going to be more people, no? So Eura started with this motivation of being a purpose converted into a company in order to how to create value chains that can have positive impact, solving the threat that livestock brings to everything that we value, no? But doing it in a way, not from the misanthropy, no? Of telling people that what we do, it's not good, but of offering better solutions, of understanding that we love our gastronomy, we love the way that we eat, so this is about how we create better meat, no? In the same way that in energy we are doing a transition towards better sources of energy, in transportation the same, and in telecommunications the same. When it comes to food, we have scaled problems, but we need better solutions, no? So in Eura we are in a mission to accelerate a protein transition and to create value chains in the food industry that can have positive impact. Not just minimize the negative impact, but it's possible to be climate positive and to make sure that we are bringing with every moment of consumption a positive impact into the world. And that's what we are doing through the products that we are launching to the market, that we call meat successors, because are not just alternatives but next steps, and also with the good rebel community, that it's something that we push to empower people to believe that we can change the world through what we do.
Brilliant. Thanks so much, Mark. Facu, again, welcome. Please introduce yourself with your trajectory, but also what brought you to co-found TerraFloss, and what are the solutions that you're putting into the market?
Okay, thank you, Gonza. I will switch to Spanish. We are in
No
Spain,
problem.
so I think it's better. Yo creo que para el 2050 vamos a ser aproximadamente 10 billion people viviendo en este mundo y se van a necesitar 70% más de alimentos. Cuando vemos esas cifras, nos damos cuenta que el sistema productivo actual no es sustentable, no es sostenible para esa cantidad de alimentos. Desde TerraFloss nosotros creemos que el futuro está en la naturaleza y la naturaleza es nuestra fuente de bienestar, pero necesitamos sistemas productivos totalmente distintos. Entonces, lo que estamos armando desde TerraFloss es una empresa que es colaborativa, que son varias startups que tienen distinto tipo de impacto, pero claramente enfocan en sistemas productivos alternativos, que van desde plant cells hasta CRISPR y utilizando microorganismos no tradicionales para producción a escala, justamente para suplir esas necesidades del mundo actual, ¿no?
Perfect. So I think that we have different perspective. Like, of course, I hear you very well positioned on the idea even of regeneration of and the role of the ecosystem. We have a product, and here we have much more a service, if I understood well. Would like each of you to reflect on what are those gaps? What are you feeling is missing in the sector that you're operating, and why? In order to advance in the direction that each of you is requiring.
So they pinpoint on some of them. We need to transform the way we are producing and distributing our food, but the consumer at the same time doesn't want and doesn't have to take the responsibility on forgetting the food that they really love and that it's dear to their heart. Food, we have to remember that is part of our identity, our culture. So what is missing is to bring to the market really good products, as Mark was saying, very delicious and accessible products that have that positive impact in the environment and in health. So we need, first of all, capital to push forward those solutions, to help those entrepreneurs be able to develop and scale up their solutions and bring them to the market. We need regulators to be flexible and open to these innovations. Facundo mentioned CRISPR technology. We are very far behind in Europe specifically in accepting these types of technologies and what they could do in a positive sense. So GMOs, for example, have been considered as a very scary solution, and innovation in general, changing the status quo, can be scary, but many of those can be used in a positive way to scale and to give access to that increasing population to that better nutrition. So we need the comprehension of the industry, of the consumer, of investors, of institutions. So it's a very complex problem, but what gives us hope is that there are many people in the planet that are trying to solve and that are putting forward these solutions. And we have, for example, created a squad, a group of people that is aiming to accelerate this positive transformation in the world.
And before I jump into Mark again, and I will do this question to every one of you. What has been like the projection of this narrative? Like you see now, of course, there's certain needs, but you started like 5 years ago, right? How different it was 5 years ago, the level of challenges that you're referring to, and how is the world better or worse, or maybe the same in the same position towards the challenge?
We believe that consumers, so people who are the ones that have to adopt these solutions, are more aware of these challenges. And if we look to Netflix, for example, we already see series that are talking about decarbonization. So that gives us a feeling of the fact that consumers are aware, are ready for these types of novel products.
Brilliant. So Mark, in your case, when it comes to the type of product that you're putting into the market and the solutions in general that Geura is providing, what are those challenges that you are seeing nowadays? And not only that, but also if you can refer how have you seen this progressing in time, and potentially what are the projections that you envision?
Well, in 2 decades, the whole food system will be totally different from how it is now, because it doesn't make any sense, no? And go into stats as well, no? 80% of the total land, in agricultural land in the world goes to feed animals, but we are only taking 18% of the calories, no? At the end, you need 50 calories to get one of food to get 1 calorie of cow, no? It looks like we crash moments where they need 50 euros to get one, so it doesn't make any sense, and these things always collapse. So I feel that we are in a moment of, I always say it's like BlackBerry versus smartphone, no? So the products are appearing, and what is required it's time, attention, and capital, no? Understand that also value chains of moving goods go much slower than technology, so the pace won't be able to be as fast as other change of behaviors that we had. But also it's really relevant, no, to take into awareness of right now how much are we subsidizing the problem, no? The total meat industry in the world is 1.4 trillion, and the subsidies that it gets, it's 1.4 trillion as well, no? And when you look at the whole food tech space for alternative proteins, the total funding in the world in the last 10 years, it's been less than 15 billion. So at the end, no, we are in early stages. There are a lot of progress happening, no? This talk already in South Summit, it's something to celebrate. But at the end, we have all a big opportunity in order to how we accelerate it, no? Bringing awareness of the problem and being part of the solution, supporting, no, all the game changers that are imagining a better food industry.
Genial. Facu, ¿cómo lo estás viendo vos desde el punto de vista de eso, de las dificultades que han enfrentado, qué falta, pero también eso, ¿cómo ha cambiado desde que comenzaron la trayectoria con TerraFloss y un poco la trayectoria que traes vos?
Sí, está muy bien el punto y coincido con lo que mencionan ambos. Yo creo que tienen que convivir distintos sistemas productivos. Nosotros producimos ingredientes activos de plantas para la industria de alimentos, cosmética y una serie de cosas. Y nuestro modelo también tiene impacto social. Una de las plantas que producimos es cannabis en Uruguay y en Colombia. Y nuestro modelo social era trabajar con pequeñas granjas distribuidas en el país, donde nosotros le dábamos las genéticas y ellos se encargaban de cultivarla, diversificando su producción con un esquema de Fair Trade, donde compartíamos los ingresos, y es un modelo fantástico. El tema es que las grandes industrias, cuando analizan este tipo de productos, piden ciertas calidades que no hace que sean viables este tipo de sistemas productivos. Es muy complejo proveer a la industria de farma, por ejemplo, o de alimentos, o food tech en general, con estos modelos productivos. Entonces ahí es donde empezás a pivotear modelos alternativos productivos porque no son escalables estos modelos. El gran desafío es qué pasa con los antiguos modelos productivos y estas pequeñas granjas. Yo creo que tienen que convivir, hay que buscar modelos alternativos justamente para que funcione todo esto. Ese es el gran desafío que se viene, ¿no?
Buenísimo, muchas gracias. So now I would like you to talk to the audience in terms of what a community like this. This is a community of entrepreneurship, investors, innovators. What role they can play while this is a need for people like us, but also for them and the whole world. What's the link there? What would be a potential suggestion that you can provide to the audience in terms of how they can play a role in this food tech ecosystem? Beatriz.
So I suppose there are many many tech entrepreneurs, not necessarily food, and we want to let them know that we need their help. We need innovation throughout the whole value chain of food, and many technologies that are being applied to other sectors can also be of use for ours. For example, blockchain technology, we have been using it for some years now for traceability, food safety. So there are many technologies that you wouldn't imagine that have applications. For example, photonics. In general, it was used for military, and now it can be used to detect pathogens very quickly in our industry. So to make those interlinkages between what technology they have available and how can they apply it to the industry that has the most impact in the world, which is for us the food industry. And as consumers, to start making those shifts into more sustainable and healthy diets, just to be more conscious. We didn't mention the topic of education. But I feel like we as consumers don't know, we are not aware about the power that we have because our purchasing decisions really condition what the industry and what farmers will want to produce. So as consumers making those intelligent decisions, but not by chance, but because we have in our educational systems a lot more knowledge of the implications of our purchasing and our diet choices. So we have an educational program called GastroGenius directed to schools, and we believe that is very important in that shift.
Brilliant. Thanks so much, Beatriz. Mark, what do you think this community can provide and investors and innovators can help?
Building up in certain points of Bea, no? At the end, I started Eura with Bernat because we believe that when we humans act for things that we dream of, there is always progress, and that we have more power than we think. And right now, we have to bring a lot of stats to explain that food industry is the industry that has the most impact in the world. But there is something magical about the food industry as well, that it's something so connected with what we do every day that we have an amazing power to transform it at the same time. No? We can act as much about the energy industry that requires a lot of infrastructures that has to be built, no? But a lot of supply chains that are already there. Some are more positive than others, and we have an amazing opportunity of act with our fork to change the world in every meal. No? So that's something that we sometimes forget, that if we act and aligning what we believe, what we do, we can be transformative. And I think that it's relevant to understand the challenges that we have with the food industry to the future, and support the ones that are trying to do something better. Follow us in social networks, and we will give more information.
Thank you, Mark. Facu, nos quedan unos pocos segundos. Por favor, levanta la audiencia con qué es lo que necesitamos de ellos.
Bueno, yo creo que hay las empresas que se vienen, las empresas del futuro, justamente no son las típicas empresas de Internet, sino que son las empresas que buscan soluciones a los grandes problemas que tiene el mundo utilizando tecnología de última generación, desde quantum computing, biotech, CRISPR, como hablábamos. Y hoy el mundo hacia dónde va justamente necesita emprendedores e inversores que estén enfocados en solucionar los grandes problemas del mundo. Creo que la industria alimenticia justamente es la que mayor cambio va a recibir y ahí es donde la tecnología va a ser el cambio necesario para poder solucionar los grandes problemas que tiene el mundo. Yo creo que, como decía, para el 2050, 10.000 millones de personas se necesitan 70% más de alimentos. Esos alimentos no van a ser los típicos alimentos que nosotros conocemos, sino nuevos alimentos que van a estar generados con la ayuda de esta tecnología del futuro. La oportunidad es gigante para emprendedores que inicien empresas en ese segmento, como para inversores que ya están invirtiendo en deep tech y en este tipo de cosas que son las que se vienen.
Well, thanks so much, Facu. Clear, we need investors, we need talent, we need technology, we need innovation. We have great examples here. We have a brilliant network, a great example, technology and nature at the service. Please give a round of applause to this brilliant panel and hope all of you now get absolutely involved into the need of food tech for sustainability and climate. Thanks so much.